The WNBA continues to get the kind of attention they shouldn't want. All right. Again, Colin Cowherd is making a point to talk about the WNBA again. He does it now multiple times a week, but only when it comes to one player, or in this case, one player and what it is the rest of the league is doing to her.
The WNBA is making headlines again, but not for the reasons it should. Once more, sports commentator Colin Cowherd is talking about the league. And once again, it's not about the game, it's about Caitlin Clark, and the bizarre way the league seems determined to mishandle the one true star they've been gifted in decades. Believe it or not, there are now serious conversations about trading Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting. In fact, she finished behind one of her own teammates in player voting. The pettiness has no bounds. For years, the WNBA players were pointing fingers. They were saying people are sexist, we're not being promoted, we're underappreciated. And then they get the golden goose and they don't like what it looks like. When the wave hits, ride it. They wanted to fly private. They wanted to be more popular. They wanted sold out arenas. They got it. I wouldn't have guessed that Caitlin Clark would be this.
Yes, the same rookie who single-handedly packed arenas across the country, boosted TV ratings, and turned the Indiana Fever into a national story. Instead of celebrating her, the league seems more interested in tearing her down. The numbers don't lie. She finished 9th in player voting for the All-Star game, 9th. Behind one of her own teammates. Petty doesn't even begin to describe it. For years, WNBA players and fans pointed fingers at the media, at sponsors, at fans, claiming sex.
This is clearly them cutting her down, because when you look at fan voting, obviously Clark is one, right? Because she has the most fans in the league. So that clearly biased. You go to the media voting.
She was 3.
She was 3. That actually makes sense.
I agree. She's not having the best of years this year. She's actually, her shooting is down.
Exactly.
There's been a number of situations that she's just not played her best ball. But she is still much, eons better than a lot of the other players that they voted in front of her.
Lack of marketing, underappreciation. Then, along comes Caitlin Clark, a lightning rod of attention, money, and new fans. She delivers everything the league said it needed. And now they're turning on her? Let's be clear, trading Caitlin Clark wouldn't just hurt Indiana, it would wreck the league's entire future. She's not just a player. She is the storyline. Every ticket, every jersey, every late-night debate about women's basketball right now has her name somewhere on it. You don't trade your golden goose. You build around her.
A university professor in finance looked up the value of Caitlin Clark for the WNBA. This is insane. So this year, last season in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was 26.5% of all economic activity as a rookie on the worst team in the league when she entered it. So now she has an 8-year, $128 million deal with Nike. So, she's going to eat. Merchandise in the league went up off a rookie from a Midwest-based school on the worst team in the league, 230.
Her shooting percentages might be down a bit this season, sure. She's a rookie carrying a struggling franchise on her back. And still, she's miles ahead of many players who were voted ahead of her. More than a few people think the push to trade her isn't about basketball at all. It feels personal. Political. Like a league trying to clip its brightest wings because it can't handle.
I'm not going to ignore, nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balls. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing.
The spotlight she's dragging along with her. According to one university finance professor, Caitlin Clark accounted for over 12% of all WNBA economic activity, as a rookie, on the league's worst team. That's not just impressive. That's historic. Now, she's signed an 8-year, $128 million deal with Nike. Her jersey sales are through the roof. Media rights, ticket sales, merchandise, everything is up. And it's no mystery why. This isn't just about a player. It's about a once-in-a-generation opportunity. And the WNBA is playing with fire. You don't trade the future. You protect it. The WNBA has a problem. But it's not Caitlin Clark. It's what the league is doing to Caitlin Clark. For weeks now, rumors have been swirling, rumors so ridiculous, they'd be laughable if they weren't gaining traction. Trading Caitlin Clark? Really? Clark isn't just a rookie. She's a phenomenon. A once-in-a-generation talent from a Midwest college who stepped into the league and instantly lit it up, on and off the court. She joined the worst team in the league, and suddenly they were selling out arenas. TV ratings spiked. Jersey sales exploded. She was the story. And now, the very league she's saving seems to be plotting her downfall. Imagine mailing that kind of momentum away like it's just another FedEx box. It's not just short-sighted, it's historically stupid. This isn't a bad play.
Caitlin Clark had another, whatever you want to call it, confrontation in a WNBA game. Like, why is this happening? The Caitlin Clark phenomenon is one that I got wrong. I never really thought that Caitlin Clark would make the difference that she has in college basketball or in the WNBA. What other sports analogies are out there that are in any way similar to the impact that one individual has had on a larger sporting universe? Tiger was...
It's a franchise-level meltdown waiting to happen. While Clark recovers from a quad strain, all eyes are on what the league does next. And fans, especially longtime sports fans, are watching closely. Because this doesn't feel like basketball politics. It feels like real politics. Some say the resentment isn't about her. It's about what she represents. She didn't ask to be a star. She earned it. She played her heart out at Iowa, then stepped straight into the pros without rest, without excuses. And she delivered. And now? The league is entertaining trades. The front office just hired a coach whose resume reads more like a warning label. This is the same coach who once stood by while Clark took hits that would have made UFC fighters wince, and now she's Clark's boss? That's not a coincidence. It's a message: dim the spotlight, control the narrative, and silence the star under the guise of team building. But make no mistake, fans see it. Broadcasters see it. Even the popcorn guy in row 5 sees it. Clark didn't just get benched. She got sidelined, politically. And this isn't about basketball strategy. This is about power, ego, and control. Her style doesn't fit the system? No. The system is actively rejecting her. This isn't a clash of coaching styles, it's a cold war in sneakers. She's pulled mid-game while benchwarmers log charity minutes.
She doesn't always get the consistent great star whistle. I think they're still kind of figuring out how to officiate her. Right? Like I've said this for years when I covered Shaq and went to Shaq got fouled more than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, it was insane. People bounced off Shaq. Jokic complains constantly. Like, people are bouncing off me. She doesn't quite get as favorable a whistle as you think. So I think
neither does Steph too. That's the funny.
The team isn't developing around her. They're isolating her. And if you think that's just growing pains, think again. This isn't about rookie lessons. This is a punishment for shining too brightly. She's not even getting fair calls from the refs. Anyone who's watched knows it. Shaq used to get fouled on every play and the whistle stayed quiet. Steph Curry still doesn't get half the calls he should. Now Clark's getting the same treatment, because the league still doesn't know what to do with a player who moves the needle this much. This isn't chess. It's sabotage. And it's obvious. Some in the league probably would love to see her shipped out, like she's a problem to be managed, not a miracle to be nurtured. But here's the reality: send her to a franchise that knows what they're doing, Vegas, New York, take your pick, and she'll have a statue built by Thursday. Keep her where she is, under a regime that sees her as a threat instead of a treasure, and you're wasting fireworks in a freezer. The spark is there, but nothing's going to explode. Let's talk dollars and cents. A finance professor recently ran the numbers. Clark was responsible for over 12% of all WNBA economic activity this season. As a rookie. On the worst team in the league. That's not a player. That's a movement. She just signed a 100
So we all know who Caitlin Clark is. She's the golden goose, laying those golden eggs for the WNBA to prosper. Well, a lot of times we notice that the WNBA is resisting this golden goose and resisting this bump and this force of nature, which is Caitlin Clark. So we're going to dive deep into that. What's behind that? Is it jealousy, envy, pettiness, all the above, more than that? We're going to have to go.
$128 million deal with Nike. She's selling out stadiums. She's drawing in new fans, some of them middle-aged men who couldn't tell a zone defense from a parking zone a year ago, but now they're debating pick-and-rolls like ESPN analysts. You don't trade that. You protect it. You build around it like it's the Ark of the Covenant. Because without her, Indiana's not rebuilding. They're vanishing. So here's the bottom line, this isn't about sports anymore. It's about pride, control, and a league that seems more interested in staying small than getting smart. But the fans? We're watching. And we're not fooled. Caitlin Clark didn't come into the WNBA quietly. She came in like a storm, electrifying crowds, selling out arenas, and dragging a struggling franchise into the spotlight. She didn't ask for the fame. She earned it. Every single bit of it. And now the league that should be thanking her daily? It's looking more like it's trying to bury her. Let's get one thing straight, the WNBA didn't stumble into this golden moment. Caitlin Clark created it. She turned 367,000 viewers into over 1 million. Her draft? Pulled 2.45 million people to their screens. That's not hype. That's impact. But instead of riding the wave, the WNBA is busy building a dam. They say it's rookie development. They say it's system fit. But let's call it what it is, sabotage in a pantsuit. Because if you really wanted to crush momentum, you'd bench your rising star. And then, just for flair, you'd hire the one coach who's shown less.
So it's the last part of it, the players vote, that I take some exception to. And I'm not a big Caitlin Clark fan. Like, I don't care either way. But they vote her 9. And why I find that absolutely hilarious is you can say she's 9 if you want, but you don't treat her like she's 9. Because when she was here in town, they were picking her up 3/4 court the entire game, and they had her double teamed the entire game. Now, is your shooting efficiency going to go down?
Sympathy for her than a DMV worker at closing time. You'd package it all in glossy press conferences filled with buzzwords like versatility and culture building. And you'd pray the fans are too distracted by the lights to notice what's really happening. But we're not blind. We see it. Caitlin Clark's not just being coached. She's being controlled. Every time she's benched during crunch time, every time a third stringer gets minutes over her, every time she's doubled and fouled without a whistle, it sends a message, stay in your place. And what exactly is that place? Somewhere behind the curtain. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere she can't make too many waves. Because the WNBA isn't just afraid of her talent, they're terrified of what she represents. Power. The kind of power that doesn't ask permission. The kind that sells out games. The kind that makes middle-aged dads who never watched a women's game suddenly experts on zone defense. The kind that doesn't fit into your carefully manicured committee-approved league plan. So what do you do when a player shines too bright? You dim the lights. You pretend she's not ready. You paint it all as patience. But here's the truth, this isn't about basketball anymore. It's about ego. It's about control. It's about the old guard protecting their seat at the table, even if it means flipping the whole table over. And the numbers don't lie. Clark was ranked first by the fans. Third by the media. But the players? They voted her 9th. 9th. And yet, when she plays, she's double-teamed and picked up at 3/4 court. That's not how you treat the 9th best anything. That's how you treat a threat. Let's stop pretending.
Caitlin Clark was number 1 among fans. Number 3 among media. What do you think she was among players?
Dead last.
It's not last.
Not last, no. But
barely made it to the top 10. So she was 1, 3, and 9. Well, Dick Vitale went off on a whole rant. It is pure jealousy. Someday these players will realize what she has done for them. They now have chartered planes, increase in salaries, sold out crowds, improved TV ratings. Stop being jealous haters on Caitlin.
It isn't about rookie learning curves or fitting into a system. It's about envy. It's about a league trying to put a lid on its own golden goose because they're not ready for what comes next. Trading her? That wouldn't just be dumb. It would be a historic failure. A loud, flaming middle finger to progress, to fans, and to the future of women's basketball. Fans would walk. Viewership would drop. The league would lose its only guaranteed box office draw. And no one would be surprised, just disappointed. Because this doesn't feel like coaching anymore. It feels like punishment. Clark's crime? Being too good, too fast, and too popular. She walked into the WNBA with a jump shot and the audacity to be beloved nationwide. And now, she's being treated like she brought a bat instead of a ball. She's not tweeting cryptic messages. She's not demanding trades. She's not complaining. She's just doing her job, quietly, professionally, and with the kind of grace that frankly puts the league leadership to shame. And what does she get for it? Benched. Undermined. Micromanaged by a coach who once left her eye-poked and unprotected, and now sits courtside pretending it's about the team. The sad part? It's not even subtle anymore. It's not conspiracy, it's choreography. Like a Broadway show called How to Humble a Star in 10 Games or Less. The truth is, Clark was the league's moment. But now, she's being treated like an inconvenience. A celebrity.
Now let's look at the viewership, right? So I'm looking at here. So before the WNBA, before Caitlin arrived, the WNBA averaged around 300,000 to 400,000 viewers per game on national television, right? 300,000 to 400,000 viewership, right? The 2023 season, they said they saw an average of 367,000 viewers, right? When Caitlin Clark came, with her presence, viewership has increased with some games drawing over 1 million viewers, right? Caitlin Clark's WNBA draft for her drew 2.45 million viewers. That's crazy. So that means these people and what she did in college and bringing them all to the WNBA scale, people are watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark.